Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Davion Huggins, myself here in the weather lab on a Sunday. And we're watching a little cluster of storms that's moving in. Not severe at the moment, but it's starting to rumble. Thunder, it's happening out there. You've heard about the severe weather risk. Good news is this window is really starting to close quick.
It really is.
And I'm thankful for that. Now, for our friends off to our east, Little Rock's television market, as well as Jonesboro, they're going to be a little more under the gun.
Oh, yeah.
But this system that's coming in, it's got some really cold air to work with. It's got very strong winds that are out there. Let's take a look right now at the radar. We'll dive right into it as we check out Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. A little bit of broad rotation. Notice how this storm is kind of getting undercut. That's the cell that's coming right into Fayetteville right now. As a matter of fact, you can look at our WeatherBug Network camera looking to the west from our Graduate Hotel WeatherBug Network camera, and you can see a little bit of structure, but this does get undercut rather quickly. A little bit of a precipitation freebase off in the distance. And Davion, you've been watching these cells, and severe weather risk has been bouncing back and forth, and we can kind of show that here coming up in just a bit. Take over for just a second. I got to adjust one thing real quick.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on a few of the cells that we've been seeing. Obviously, like Dan just said, nothing severe as of right now. As you can see, that look over Mount Sequoia, we're keeping an eye on that cell as it pushes through Washington County. Nothing severe right now. We're just going to keep a very close eye on what we see. The parameters, like we said, they're better off to our east. They don't look as impressive for us right now. So again, we're going to keep a close eye on that. And in fact, I can bring up Mega Doppler once again, and you can see exactly what I am talking about. If I can get over to Mega Doppler, there it is. Okay, so Mega Doppler right now. Again, not much going on. We're keeping an eye on that cell. It's trying to get its act together, but it's not. But it is a little bit loud out there. We'll start to see some rumbles of thunder increase.
Also some hail, too. The hail's increased a little bit in size. So this storm's definitely increased in intensity, continuing to show signs of strengthening. Might look a little bit like a hook, but don't know if it's quite a hook yet. You can see the circulation's not super strong. But this could be getting a special weather statement here pretty soon in terms of a storm that's just under severe limits. But hey, we'll look at the maximum expected hail size. And this has increased quite a bit. As you can see, we're now up to about close to quarter size. So
quarter size. And this is just off to the west of us, it's essentially downtown Fayetteville.
Yeah, so if we look at here, we'll check out our WeatherBug Network camera from Mount Sequoia. You can see that base off in the distance.
A little bit of structure.
Yeah, nothing super menacing, but this could be prompting severe thunderstorm potential. Now, the good news is once this moves through, which is like within the next 20, 30 minutes, the severe weather risk on the I-49 corridor is over. It's done with. It's gone. So it'll be out of here. And then that will be the end of it for Benton and Washington County. But the farther east you go, you got a little bit more activity that will happen.
Yeah, that's definitely right. That this line of this cold front, we said it was going to be potent. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes back and forth with the severe weather outlooks. So on the shows yesterday, we were more so under a slight risk and we were under just a marginal. Now that slight risk has ticked back over towards us a little bit. It's still off to our easternmost coverage area and points east of that where we're expecting the greatest severe weather potential. But nonetheless, going to keep an eye on this cell as it does look like it's trying to get its act together as on the latest scans.
Hailing in Tawnytown. Someone just mentioned that. So that's the western edge of this. How big was that hail? If you could report that, please. Isabel.
Yep.
Yeah, I just sent that. Was hailing in Tawnytown.
I believe it.
That's exactly where that cell has a little bit of hail with it.
Yeah. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Again, this is really the only cell that we're watching right now. Everywhere else kind of looks just normalized.
There's a cell that's popped up southwest of Fort Smith.
Yeah.
And you can see that storm doesn't really have a whole lot of structure. It's getting undercut by the cold air, which basically means that tornado potential is pretty limited. So seeing a little bit of a weak rotation along the leading edge, and we can see that from our WeatherBug Network camera. Let's go back to the radar if we can. got to get you cracking on this, Davion. I think that's the next thing we'll do is we're going to train you on this fully. So here's a look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. There's the reflectivity. Hail core at this point is located just to the southwest of, so Tawnytown has been getting hail, which is interesting because that's a little bit north of the reflectivity core. So if you have been getting hail in Tawnytown, it's probably been not even pea size, so really, really small hail. But there is another core. Oh, I see it right there. Yeah, I just went through Tawnytown. Just some small itty bitty hail.
Yep.
We look right here. There it is. But this is obviously a much bigger hail core. And if this continues to grow, that might be severe weather potential that's rolling in.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll keep a close eye on it, like we've said. Not anticipating this to be a very long severe weather threat at all. I think we'll be over and done with this before the afternoon is over.
So let's do this here. Let's bring up something. We're going to bring up Mega Doppler in 1, and then I'm going to have the radar there so we can kind of bounce back and forth.
Yep. But
then at the same time, I'm going to put up that WeatherBug network camera. We can see the structure as the storm comes in. Now, I've got this on here to record, so I'm able to see that. But, the Razorbacks, heck of a game right now. They're playing against Vanderbilt, and was just out with the family for a little lunch. And here we go. There's Mount Sequoia. We'll bring this up. So there you go. You get to see that. Now we got to go. Don't forget, you got to switch your source. OBS scenes. You're going to go to Max 1. There you get to see radar and our WeatherBug network camera showing that structure. So look at how it's getting undercut. You can see the hook is getting elongated. Now there might be some cell interactions. If we look at the echo tops on this, it's a little bit taller. So we're looking at close to 40,000 feet, and that's why there's a lot more lightning associated with this. So a little bit more structure, but look, you can even see the clouds in the foreground that are moving from right to left. That tells you that this is being undercut. So the cold air is racing south, and pretty soon we're about to feel this cold front, and it's going to be a dramatic drop in temperatures. Keep monitoring all those comments, Davion, if there's anything that people are wondering what's going on. But this could be prompting severe thunderstorm potential.
When someone has a nice comment, when this zips east, let's address the snow potential and the cold crash for Monday morning.
Yeah, well, it's going to be crashing already this evening, man.
Yeah. I mentioned
big time temperature.
These high temperatures were going to be late morning, early afternoon highs, and after that, we are going to plummet.
So there's the special weather statement that they just issued. Strong thunderstorm impacting southeastern Benton and northern Washington County. Lightning is up on that cell.
That's definitely true. Hailing in Springdale.
Yep.
Believe it. Yep.
Well, and that was small hail too.
Hail,
you got bigger hail that's coming from the southwest, so be ready for additional hail that will be coming in.
Yeah, you can see that hail core just to the southwest of Springdale, as Dan just said. Notice the structure of the storm on the camera, not as impressive as it was.
Nope. That's because it's getting undercut. Yeah, you can see all the clouds are moving from right to left. But yeah.
So again, this is going to be a very, very limited window of severe weather for this, at least for this particular cell. Obviously, this cold front will continue to track east, and then we'll see what happens to our easternmost counties. We'll keep a very close eye on that. But right now, not much going on, not too much going outside of the nickel to quarter-sized hail with that one storm. So we'll see if that gets severe warning. It looks like they just went with just a special weather statement for now.
And I was just mentioning that.
Yeah, just a special weather statement. So I'm just wind is ripping off Farmington off 170. Yeah, that's definitely going to be true. Winds behind this cold front may even be stronger than some of the thunderstorm winds that you see, as winds are going to be kicking up, wind gusts upwards of 45 plus miles per hour. I wouldn't be surprised if we approach 60 in some areas. That's why that wind advisory is still into effect as we go throughout the rest of this evening until 1 a.m. on Monday.
What's up, Kate? Sure.
Kate? Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Getting mic'd
Appreciate it.
Mike's and IFBs.
Yeah, there's no immediate threat, but
Yeah.
there's going to be some severe weather. There's going to be a little bit of hail that's coming in. That's why we're doing this update too.
Right.
Is that this hail is probably going to prompt potentially a severe thunderstorm warning.
Right. We'll keep a very close eye on. Oh yeah, look at that. The clouds are getting undercut.
Oh yeah, big time. Now here's what we're gonna do. I got this recording too, so you can get to see visually the animation. If we look at, so here's Harbor. Harbor will have a view. Oh yeah, there comes that hail core looking off to the southwest. So here's what you can do, Davion. We can just, bring that up. Look southwest. Look at that white issue. That tells you.
This is weather 3.
Man, that is overexposed big time. Yeah.
Which camera is that?
Just bring up weather 3, and then we'll just go through all these cameras, and then I can show what we're doing. Yeah, and then that's not at all a southwest view anymore.
Where is weather 3 on here?
So you can't bring it up through max. You got to bring it up through max. So maybe bring it up through over here.
Yeah, max 2. Gotcha. There it is.
Yep, not the recorder one, the stream. So yeah, we'll be able to bounce to some of these cameras a lot easier this way. So this is Arkansas Children's Northwest. Looking south, see that whitish appearance? That's the hail core that's coming.
Oh yeah.
And we'll look at another one. This has a really bright white because it's way overexposed.
Man,
look at all the heavy rain that's coming in, though.
Yeah,
you see that?
At least you about to get a good downpour.
Definitely getting a good downpour. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a split screen here on Mega Doppler, and you can bounce back and forth to Mega Doppler. And I'm gonna put up the hail core. Make sure there's no rotation with this. Hold on.
You see Mega Doppler.
Yeah. So there you go. Get to see the Mega Doppler. Get to see that cell. And then if you do that through Max, Max 1, we can get to see the camera on there too.
Nice. And
there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Yep. I figured that was coming. So severe thunderstorm warning just got issued. This does include Fayetteville, but the hail core will not be hitting downtown Fayetteville. This hail core will be moving through Johnson, south of Springdale, and quarter-size hail, 60 miles per hour winds. So bring that up on, here, I'll bring this up on Max. Here's the information for that severe thunderstorm warning. Just got a warning. Hey, good. You guys got it. You know that it's there. So let me bring this up here as we look at the severe thunderstorm warning. So you can see there it is till 2:15, just like we mentioned. Now it shows Fayetteville, which will get some strong winds. That hail core is about to come right over Arvis Ballpark too. So we'll be able to see that. And see, this is why the Razorbacks shouldn't have played today, and they did the doubleheader on Sunday. You know, meteorologists aren't always wrong, guys. We're not always wrong. Right. Sometimes we make some good decisions, and they listen to us, and they put that game instead of today, because that would have been in trouble. 2 o'clock, storms would have been rolling in. They would have had to deal with lightning. Would have had to been deal with hail and all that stuff. In fact, look at this. We got some West Fayetteville's getting some hail.
How bad would the hail be? Shouldn't be too bad. Quarter-size.
Haha! Look at that. There's a testimonial.
Nice.
That's right. Next Gen just called you. That's perfect.
Perfect timing.
Good deal. And it's quick too, isn't it?
It was there.
Yep.
And then it's gone. Looks like they're going.
I got the same thing. Yep.
Going into conference with SPC.
So let's take a look back at that hail core, along with that weather bug camera. And then keep up weather 3, and we can bounce between those two. Hey, Let's do this. Bring both of these up at the same time. We'll kind of bounce back and forth.
Moving right over Johnson right now.
Yep, this is the hail core. So you're able to see it. And if you want, we can bring this up full. Yeah, Davion, we're going to get you trained up on this because
Yeah, I
I
know
feel
the-
one thing that maybe might be a little lacking is all of this. Now let's see
Yeah.
here. We got bring up.
The recording window is cool, but I was saying the one we record on it, I know.
Yeah,
But,
that's simple, right? Let's go here, Springdale, Arkansas Children's Northwest. So let me go here real quick. Refresh. There you
There it
go.
is.
Got the severe thunderstorm warning information.
Man, it's coming
And here it
down.
comes. That's going to be right. That's going to be going just south. South is probably the greatest, but look at those winds picking
I was about
up.
to say that picked up as soon as we took it full.
Hogs up by 3 too, 62-59. So April, if you're just joining, we got a severe thunderstorm warning that's moving right through Springdale. And in fact, pouring at Springdale Sam's Club right now. I can believe that. So we're going to kind of bounce back and forth multiple times so you can see the radar and you're able to see everything. So there's the radar. Here's the hail core. Hail core is just about quarter size, 60 miles per hour winds. If there's a watch that's coming, it will be in our eastern counties. It probably won't include Washington County, or maybe it just barely does. But a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:15. That hail core now is going to be moving over Johnson. And in fact, Arbus Ballpark, you can see a little bit of the hail, but the heaviest, the largest hail is going to be over the Blessings Golf Club.
Got a comment asking, is there any rotation? Definitely.
So no.
Yeah.
No, there's no rotation.
Definitely not. Yeah.
So this is not a tornado warned storm. We could see it getting undercut by the cold air.
Right.
Let's take a look here at our WeatherBug network camera from Mount Sequoia. Yeah, there it goes. There goes the cloud overhead. And look at how it's all moving from right to left. So if there's any hail, let me know. I know there's hail, but just let me know how big it is. Okay, so yep, hail just north of Johnson off Don Tyson, large pea size to pebble.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And once this storm
you
rolls
can be
through-
added. You just were added.
And once these storms roll through, directly afterwards, temperatures are really going to start to plummet.
Yep.
It's going to get cold.
It's going to get
cold.
quick, real quick. Yeah, we can do that. We can show the track of the hail core. We just did, but I'll do that on Max too. So the hail core, it's come down because it looks like it's hailing.
Yep. Down to about nickel size.
And this is located basically right through the west of Johnson. So let's do a storm track on this, let people know where this is headed. Let's go here. I'm going to bring this up real soon. Oh, you got decent video of hail. Cool. Hey, send it in to us on our photo submission page. And just to let you know where that's at, you can scan this QR code as it goes on the screen. This is going to get you that gets you to the app, but then also there's a submission page. So appreciate that. All right, let's go. And there's a new tornado watch to the northeast of us. Does not include us. We can hear the storm coming down in Fayetteville. So let's do a track on this hail core. And again, this is not super big. Nickel to quarter size. So if we look at the track here, you can see the way this storm has developed. And in just a second, once it starts populating, I'm going to pop it up on the screen. So here's the track of this hail core. Storm is moving at 39 knots, so 45 miles per hour. So we'll do a storm track on this at 45.
These storms are racing.
Yeah, they
cold
are.
Front.
Let's go to the next. So there you go. Here's the track of the hail core. You can see how it was a little bit bigger when it was over Weddington, west of Fayetteville. You got 1256 Blue Springs Village, Mayfield 2 o'clock, Widener 204, Hinesville 206. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. I'm going to redraw this track. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That was my bad. Accidentally clicked off of something. So we'll go back in here real quick. We'll take a look at this hail core. And there you go. It's just now moving over I-49 too. So we can get, all right, good. Got some big gusts. No tornado threat. Nope. Let's see here. Hail near Tyson's main offices. Yep. Thankfully not as big as 2011.
Downpour in Fayetteville. Yep, we can hear that.
And so now it's all done. And that's it. I know. Exactly. It's going to be super quick.
And just like that.
So let's zoom out here a little bit and let's show you the track on this. I'm going to put it over the next hour just in case it builds back up. So there you go. Now you get to see those areas. Clifty, 215. Alabama, 222. Marble, 229. Razorbacks are still up by 3, by the way. Going back to Mega Doppler, we'll show you the hail core now is located over the north side of Johnson.
Not as big as it was.
No, it's definitely come down, and it's getting undercut too. But the winds are pretty strong.
Man, it sounds like a washer machine out there.
Had some nickel-size hail at Johnson Mill Boulevard, by the way, just to let you know. Yeah, so there's that core moving out, and it is a washing machine, but guess what? We're about to be done. So that other cell's not really cranking up either. The energy's not moving in until later on this afternoon. I mean, we do have some energy, but this is going to be a short-lived severe weather threat for us, and we're thankful for that.
We are definitely thankful.
Oh, man, so much.
Hell as big as me in Springdale.
What?
Someone said hell as big as me in Springdale.
From AI, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, AI altered hail.
They're continuing that warning, severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah,
so that's why we still have that track on it.
Man, that storm is cranking east quick.
Oh yeah, riding that cold front.
Let's do the Huntsville Airport. Let's point this baby west and see if we can get any type of view. So. Yeah, so good news. Again, the tornado threat not happening. Boy, it's really heavy rain though. Look at this. Bring up Aux 3. So you don't forget we can also do this over here. You can just bring it up like that without loading everything else up. There you go. Look at that. Look at how fast those clouds are moving. So here comes the cold front.
Temperatures are definitely about to drop.
And on weather 2, we'll do this again. We'll take a look at this. So there's the track of that storm. We'll go back to the radar. Newest information until 1:15. I said 2:15, but 1:15, severe thunderstorm warning. That's not right. No, it's Central Daylight Time. Here it goes again. It's doing that same darn thing when it's showing Central Standard Time.
Instead of, I'm about to say, wait.
It did this again. I'm going to take a snap of that. That was, let me tell you something. Oh, that was so frustrating. I remember like back when we were doing severe weather coverage and it was showing Central Standard Time and Central Daylight Time. Some of the storms were Central Daylight Time. Some of them were Central Standard.
Oh, that's just a mess.
Yeah, we're definitely going to screen capture that and then tell them it's not working.
Yep.
Matter of fact,
clock spring forward.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna call them right now because this is something that they wanted to know. So I'm probably gonna just keep up taking a look at the radar.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's so frustrating. Now, when they first issued it, was it Central Standard Time? No.
Yeah, so it changed over. CDT.
Yeah. I'm going to take off my mic here.
Okay.
So we're going to put this over here. Oh, look at this. I'm a Kentucky fan, and I don't say this hardly at all, but let's go Hogs.
That is rare, huh?
So we're not in full-blown coverage mode because the storms are just not
Not impressive.
They're not super impressive. Yes, they are strong in terms of rainfall, some small hail,
Some small hail. That's kind of
possibly
really
as
it.
large as quarters. So if you got anything, let me know. The size of the hail too.
And that's really the only cluster of storms that we're watching right now, because I mean there is some rainfall that's going to be happening as we go towards Winslow and Mountainburg. Over towards Fort Smith, there's a cell off to the southwest. We'll keep an eye on it, but again, that's the strongest storm is the one that's severe warned right now, severe thunderstorm warning, and it's because of the hail size and the strong winds. But winds are going to continue. I want to stress that if you don't tie down loose objects in the backyard this evening, you may lose your tent or your trampoline. Winds are going to be strong out of the northwest, and that's why temperatures are going to plummet.
Yeah.
Forecasted overnight lows tonight to climb, or to fall, I should say, all the way down into the upper teens to lower 20s. But because it's going to be windy, the temperature may read 20 degrees, but it'll feel like 5. It's been a while since we reached for the thick jackets and coats.
Yeah, so let's show you something here real quick. You can actually see already that there's precipitation that's starting to fall as snow to the northwest, and it's not taking long for it to drop south. So I've got some streamlines on here. I'll take those streamlines off, but there you get to see that wraparound that's already developing. Look at how cold that is. Considering we're having thunderstorms now, and in just a bit, the cold air starts wrapping in. So we've got some local temperatures here to show you what it's like. Let's see here.
Yeah, snow flurries definitely possible.
Oh yeah,
this might be one of the most narrow cold fronts I've seen in a long time.
So there you go. You get to see the temperatures. 37 in Wichita, 54 in Fayetteville. So it's definitely dropped. 75 in Fort Smith, but that cold front is about to come through there as well.
It is. And
so you can actually see the position of the front if we're looking at. All right, so let's bring up some more comments here. All right, so back to the radar. Severe thunderstorm warning goes for another few more minutes.
Yep.
Let me bring up the time on this.
So I'll do a zoom out view as well, and you'll see what I mean by that's really the only cell that we're watching right now. Got some lines of showers moving over towards St. Paul, just to the northwest of Fort Smith. Another shower to the southwest of Fort Smith over towards Brent and Fort Coffee. But again, the only cell that we're really watching is the one that's severe warned, and that's the one that we've been talking about.
This is actually a real legit question. And this is a question that I'm actually pondering myself. Do you think the freezing temperatures and the water we have on the ground currently is going to cause delays for school tomorrow? Rachel, I don't think that it is going to, I don't think it's going to freeze that fast.
Yeah.
So we are going to freeze, but it won't be until late tonight. By then, the precipitation will already be out. All right, so it looks like a tornado watch was just issued too. So the weather radio will be coming off here pretty soon.
Yep.
I'm not surprised. We're going to be on the eastern edge of the very, very, very far western edge of the watch.
Yep.
And so by the way, just to let you know, that does not mean that the watch is going to continue as long as we have. You got to remember, once this line comes through, that's it.
Yeah.
So they're probably just covering the eastern portion of the county. And we'll take a look here. Now, the watch has been issued, but it hasn't been outlined with the counties. So,
you know what's something interesting I've been thinking about, Dan?
Yep.
So
there's the watch right there. I bet you Benton and Washington County will not be included in the watch. And if it is, I don't think it's going to be your last thing for a few minutes
longer. Right.
What were you saying is interesting, Davion?
Yeah, I was saying the winds are not going to just, I know the wind advisory ends at 1 a.m. tonight, could potentially get extended because the winds are not just going to die down.
Yeah.
Obviously, buses, sometimes the winds can combat driving buses. So that's something that's going to be worth watching. Strong winds and buses do not mix for school tomorrow in the morning hours. I think the winds are still going to be pretty stout out of the northwest. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
I don't think so, Jeremy. Here's why I don't think so. Because if you look, you can see the box is actually drawn. And so that box maybe barely does include Washington County, but the Weather Service is probably going to say, you know what? We're not going to include Benton and Washington County because the storm's already pushing out.
Right. And the front is
front's right
already
behind it.
right behind it. So if there were going to be storms to fire off, it would happen out ahead and right along the front. But again, that front is fast
moving quick. So yes, you might see that the actual box outline includes Washington County, but then the Weather Service comes in from Tulsa. They issue the counties that they think should be included in the watch.
Right.
And that's exactly why. And in fact, we could probably type up.
Looks like they're typing right now as we speak. But yeah. So as Dan was saying, again, this cold front is going to be moving very fast. And that's why we're going to continue to see off to the east more of a severe weather risk for our easternmost counties, as well as points east of that. And that's really where we're going to have to watch for severe thunderstorm warnings. And then, of course, all hazards being on the table. But again, for most of our coverage area, this will be a very short-lived tornado watch that you see being populated as this cold front quickly, and I mean quickly, races out of our coverage area. And behind that, we are going to see the chance for some scattered snow showers or some flurries, especially for our northernmost counties.
Yeah. So and as soon as the watch is issued and the counties go out, that's when the weather radio is going to sound.
Yep.
So there's always a little bit of a delay process. So you're getting the actual box outline, but then they do it as they go through the county warn area and the different offices, and you'll start to see that populate. So we can go here, we can look at the tornado watch, and there it is right there.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
You got to bring it up, though. Don't forget, people can't see unless we have that on that source.
Yeah.
Is there a freeze watch for us too?
Freeze warning.
Freeze warning.
I mean, most counties. Yep.
That makes sense. Probably will be over us too.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday, you know, there's a stout cold front that moves through when the Storm Prediction Center turns your DMA into a coloring box.
Yeah, I know. Book. Exactly.
Wide zoom. We got blizzard warnings in the northernmost portions of the country.
Yeah, that's quite a storm. You got tornado watch to our east, which makes sense.
Yep.
You've got blizzard warnings to the north. Okay, here we go. Is Benton or Washington County? There it is. They did include it.
There it is.
They included Washington. That's silly. Benton County is not included, though.
Again, regardless, the cells, they'll be out of Washington County. In fact, that thunderstorm is starting to push out of Washington County as we speak. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Heavy rain in Hinesville, no wind, lightning, no thunder, no hail, just heavy rain. That's definitely true. I'll bring up Max 2 right now so you can see the radar again. And there you see that the warning box. I'll just put it on now so you can see what's going on. So there's the thunderstorm. It's pushing out of Washington County, just to the east of Springdale right now, south of Eureka Springs. At least the heaviest portion of the thunderstorm is. Eureka Springs, you guys are experiencing some rain. Again, that warning box will continue to shift off to the east and eventually out of Washington County. And you'll see there's not much thunderstorms on the backside of this because it's the cold front. The cold front is going to be pushing through. In fact, you're already starting to see a little bit of clearing over towards Tulsa before the wraparound moisture comes in and maybe brings some scattered snow showers or snow flurries. And then again, even taking it down south towards the river valley, got some rain showers moving through. Nothing severe at all. There's nothing concerning with this whatsoever, as that is behind the cold front. So again, this is going to be a very short-lived severe weather coverage.
I'm surprised they included. I know that the actual box technically clipped Washington County, but I don't know. Probably would have removed it. Maybe because of these additional cells that are popping up. If you bring up Mega Doppler,
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
don't forget too. It's good to use Stream Deck for that. There's other cells that are popping up to the southwest, but they're just not intense at all, and they don't even have lightning. Yeah. So I get it. And here's the thing, like you see the watch is going until 9 o'clock. It still hasn't even populated on here yet, unless the wind advisory is
Covering it.
what in the world? Hold on. No. Taking a long time for it to populate in here. I don't know what the deal is on that. Man. Well, we'll see how long it takes for it to go out. If you bring this up on Weather One, look, it still doesn't even show it.
Yeah. Talk about a coloring book, though.
Yeah, but this is kind of nuts. Like that should pop up a lot quicker. Everything else included, except for Tulsa's CWA, because that's exactly where Tulsa's County Warren area
stops.
Yeah, that's weird.
The winds. Yeah, that's definitely true. The winds behind this front are intense. That's exactly right. I was mentioning some of those winds are, I wouldn't be surprised to see wind gusts higher than 50 plus miles per hour.
And look, there's already 60 miles per hour winds west of Stillwater.
Yep.
So some pretty incredible. Yeah, let's watch this cell come into the Huntsville area. We should be able to get some structure on it. A little bit of small hail in Hinesville.
There you see Mega Doppler right now, latest scan. As that storm system, like we said, these storms are racing along this cold front. Everything is moving pretty quickly off to our east. And again, that's why this is going to be a short-lived severe weather coverage. There's the tornado watch being populated.
Gosh sakes, that took for freaking ever.
Bring up Max 1. There you see it.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
How long did that take?
As long as the watch will be here for.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that watch is
9 o'clock.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, now this is what you got to understand. This is where it gets really confusing, but messaging is important, and we want to make sure that we have consistent messaging. Yes, it will show, as you see, tornado watch until 9 p.m. People are going to think that's 9 p.m. wherever you're at. That is not the case.
No.
That is until 9 p.m. as storms move from west to east. That watch goes until 9 p.m. off to our east right here. That's when it goes until 9 p.m. There's where it goes until 9 p.m. So what's going to happen is this watch is going to be cropped out pretty much within the next hour, I think, for Washington County.
Hour by hour, because the storm system is moving so fast.
The cell's already almost out of the warned area, which goes until 2:15. However, let's see if it still shows Central Daylight Time. Nope, it doesn't. But it did, though. I know it did.
It's trying to trick us.
How about this? I rely on my border collie named Bandit to alert us. He is amazing. More hail and now wind in Hinesville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we had about nickel size hail, I think was the largest report. It just took a little while to come in.
A little heads up on the game. Arkansas is up only by 2 points.
Yeah, it's a good, really good game. Here's the latest radar. Additional cells popping up to the west. There's the nickel size hail reports, by the way. And you got dime size hail too. So nickel to dime, possibly could have been a quarter in there. Here's a look at our Huntsville WeatherBug Network camera. Just to let you know, it's not looking very impressive. That's just like, that's a cell. That's looking to the west. Now, I'm going to take that camera, I'm going to point it to the northwest. We'll get to see more of that cell. Really fell apart though, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was there and then it wasn't.
Yeah, that cell is gone. So I'm going to take that, play it back west.
Cold front undercut.
Yep. And we got the Huntsville Airport too that will give us a view here.
Lauren Wilson.
Did someone finally answer?
So why are we under a tornado watch? So the reason for that is just because the box clipped the far western portions of the county, so they just issue the entire thing. But again, that tornado watch will continue to get cropped out as the storms and cold front continues to progress off to the east pretty quickly. So there you see, in fact, I'll just bring up Max 1 again so you can see what I'm talking about. Latest scan
yes. Is this,
now showing you that warning box.
Company, or is this an answering service?
Max 2, sorry. And then you'll see satellite radar. Yep.
Okay.
So there's the warning box, and it just clipped portions of Washington County, and that's why they were included. We were included in that tornado watch. But again, these cells are racing off to the east pretty quickly, and along with this cold front, and the little cells behind here, yeah, they're not going to do much. They're cold dominant, so you see that you don't really have to worry. So our easternmost counties have a little bit more time underneath this tornado watch than, let's say, per se, Washington County in particular. But as these cells continue to race off to the east, neighbors over towards Clinton and Little Rock, yeah, it'll be a little bit more of a different story for them heading into the rest of this evening. They're going to likely have extended severe weather coverage over the next few hours, and that's why that tornado watch goes out that far. So a few comments right now. Man, it's moving fast. Morgan County came out of tornado shelter too, so I know it's moving away. My little weather bug. That's nice. Yeah, these systems, again, this cold front is progressing off to the east very quickly. It's racing.
Yep, that sounds
Thanks.
Good. Thank you.
Temperature dropped already, and I was wondering why we got issued one. Yeah, exactly. And those temperatures are going to continue to drop. I mentioned those will be early afternoon high temperatures, and then behind that cold front, we would really start to fall, and that's exactly what we're doing. Temperatures are going down. In fact, wind chill values will be in the single digits for some areas. So here's something I can show you. I can just show you the temperatures. And you want to talk about a front?
Yeah, let's do it. Bring up weather 1, Max 1.
Yep.
So here's a look at Max 1, and look. Here's a look at the temperature drop. So I think we're already in the 50s, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And there you can see the severe weather threat, how it's by 2 o'clock so far to our east that it's not even a factor. And then look at the cold air that comes pouring in. So literally by about 9 o'clock, we're already at freezing.
And it'll feel.
And then it's going to feel like the teens. And then I think it gets down to single digits for wind chills. Look at that Monday morning. Now, the question is what does that do for precip? And that is a good question. This model probably doesn't even have the storms that are developing over us right now. Actually, it's doing a really good job. Look at that. That is surprising, Davion.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? The graph was the one that I stuck with throughout most of the system in terms of doing my shows. The herd just seemed like it didn't want to populate any storms.
Yeah, I think that's underdone on the wraparound. But yeah, I personally don't think there's going to be any problems with school. It'll be cold, but I don't think there's going to be a major problem. There's no flash freeze because temperatures, it'll stop raining for a while. And then I think the precipitation moves out. And then that's when all the stuff happens. By the way, the Razorbacks are up by 10 with less than 1 minute to go here in about 7 seconds. Wow, that's a good game. Now, there you go. This is what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So look at this. You got 40s, and then you got 30s, and then there's that little bit of light snow. So it could be a little bit of a heavy band in about 5 hours.
I was about to say, as early as 6 o'clock.
Yep. And then it's out of here. Now that's underdone on the temperatures. So guess what? No more severe weather either.
Yeah, I was just about to say that severe thunderstorm
warning is over, and that storm moved a lot faster than what they had.
And in fact,
it weakened really quick.
You can see the front on the streamlines on Satin radar.
Yeah.
It's well east, or that storm will start, or cold front, I should say, is well east of where that storm is. And that's why it wasn't able to sustain itself.
Arkansas is going to be SEC champions here.
Yeah.
How about that?
They scored.
That's a good day.
The margin was 2. Now it's 10.
Yeah, everybody was talking about Vanderbilt, how awesome Vanderbilt was, but
Had a good game yesterday. I mentioned
yeah,
the one game.
Ole Miss,
The one game I went to earlier this season was when
Look at
Arkansas
this.
beat Vanderbilt.
Dunk it, posterize them. Oh man, missed it. Missed the dunk. That's all right. Brick got the board.
That's going to be game.
There you go. Now he's going to dunk it. There you go. That's it, man. They're up 86-72.
Pulled away.
Let's go.
My weather station.
Trevin Bazille's playing good, man. So is A-Cuff too.
Here's something you can see. Temperature changes between
From this time yesterday.
My goodness. We were so nice and warm yesterday, and I was mentioning, hopefully you got outside to enjoy the nice sunshine and warm temperatures, because talk about a cold front and a difference. 20 degrees. Check out Grove, 29 degrees colder than they were this time yesterday. So yeah, that tells you how strong of a cold front that this is and how quickly it's moving as well. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're starting to see temperatures dropping. And those winds are going to continue to pick up.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't agree with the tornado watch being this far west.
I have to say I don't either.
Myself. I don't. I'm sorry.
That cold front is racing.
Number one, you can see, watch this. I'm going to show you something. So here's Mega Doppler. Just keep it up on max 1.
Okay.
Because I'm going to show you here. All right. So here is Mega Doppler. And if you look closely, you can actually see the front that's moving in. This is the cold front right here.
Yep.
And that front is ahead of those storms. So those are going to be undercut by cold air too. You can see it right here. And so while I do agree that the energy is going to continue to advance eastward, but there's a cold front right there, that solid line. Now maybe this cell in like eastern Scott County and Logan County, that could bring the potential. But honestly, I don't see the shear lining up either.
Nope.
To be 100% true. The shear doesn't line up for tornadoes. There's energy. That's why that storm came through. It blew up and then it died. It just wanted to tease me. Just like, ha ha, you thought you'd have a weekend, Dan, but nope, not happening.
Right. Just one cell.
Yep.
Moved through, tried to get his act together, and then said, never mind.
And there's another severe thunderstorm warning for Branson. So if you have any friends or family that are in Branson, we can zoom in on that. We can look at that cell. And we'll look at Springfield's radar.
Yeah,
load it up.
And that's one thing. That's one thing I did want to stress. Just because the severe weather risk is not necessarily high for our area, if you have family off to the east of us, over towards, again, like Clinton and Little Rock, over towards Jonesboro and the Mississippi River, that's where you want to make sure that your family and friends are being weather aware, as it's going to be a pretty strong line of storms that move through, embedded tornadoes all on the table, maybe some supercells out ahead. And again, that's why we have that tornado watch for the eastern portion of the coverage area and points east. Now, just like we did say, don't think
warnings expired.
The watch should have been as far west as it is, but
these warnings,
especially with how fast the cold front is. But nonetheless, that's something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on.
They're waiting. Your system is.
Here, I'll pull up max 2 right now, so you see that.
But instead, it's actually
satellite radar showing you. I'll just go to now, so you can see that severe thunderstorm warning. Where you're talking about up there.
Bug came back, but you got some issues with that.
So this is for Branson, as Dan was saying. Notice the tornado watch as well. That goes until 3 o'clock CDT. So this shows up CDT. Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it works whenever it wants to work.
So here you go.
But there you see that storm.
Central
that cell has been allowed to expire. Let's go to now.
1:15.
And if you guys pay close attention, you can actually see.
What's weird about it is when the storm was initially
you can see the front.
Warned,
see how the winds, the streamlines are going north. The winds are out of the northwest here, and that's why temperatures are falling. If you're over in Bella Vista, Bentonville, pretty much our entire western half of the coverage area, and then if you're in the river valley over towards Clarksville, you still have southerly winds for now, but that's the front right there, right where the winds change direction. And you can see how sharp that change is, which is why winds are pretty strong as well. But that front is racing eastward. And again, that's why we're just not
But
seeing
you said
the
that
severe
you never
weather
could
risk or severe weather threat stay this far.
Oh, yeah, I actually have this happening.
Again, zooming out, you can see all rain showers down in the river valley. Yeah, these aren't necessarily going to do it. We showed you that. Maybe they catch up to the boundary, but again, it's going to be very hard to do so. So satellite and radar right now, honestly, for our coverage area, just garden variety showers, but pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Overall. And then you see how the snow is not far behind. Now, obviously, this is not going to be.
Isn't that weird?
This is not going to be any travel implication snow showers that we see for our Monday morning or the rest of this evening, but definitely could pick up a few flurries here and there as that wraparound moisture comes in.
The warning's expired,
especially in our
but
upper areas,
the warning is
elevated areas, I should say.
115.
Temperatures already falling.
215.
Hogs win. Yep, SEC champions. That's right.
Until the time was
allowed. Brazil 16 points. Final 86 to 75.
Like
so
the service does
beat Vanderbilt twice this year. How about that? Whoop big suey. Yep.
Yeah. So now I dropped off.
What does tonight bring for NWA? It's a good question. In fact, we were just talking about that. So here is what you can expect for tonight's across Fayetteville. Here, I'll just show you something really quickly.
Probably just drop off of the stream pretty soon.
So this is what we have. So there's the front.
They issued the clear.
You can see how fast the temperatures. Now, mind you, this is just a computer model, but again, we're already starting to cool down.
I'll tell you when
by the time we get to 9-10 o'clock, we're at freezing or below. It's going to feel well below freezing already for the entire coverage area, especially along and north of Interstate 40. And then by the time you head out the door for your Monday morning, let's go 6 a.m. Yeah, look at that.
205.
Wind chill values in the single digits and lower teens. And by 7 o'clock in the morning, it's going to feel like 4 to 8 degrees outside. So yeah, it's going to be very cold. Dripping faucets tonight for sure. Disconnecting garden hoses. The cold weather, the four P's. Cold weather tips. Yeah. Definitely going to do all of that. Now, the good news is this cold snap. Let's see here. It's been a while since you guys have actually looked at me. Let's go OBS scenes and let's go.
Well, it'll be all right. At least you got some screenshots now because that's not, now you know what we're looking at. So, and now you can actually mimic it.
But
so this is the
it's been a while
same. Now you actually have
since we've reached for the jackets and coats. It certainly has been, and
Central Daylight
definitely going to need them tonight.
Definitely
going to need them tonight.
Central Standard Time for the wrong time.
I've seen a video of hail covering the ground for like a snowed yeah, I got it. Quite the hailstorm that rolled through a little earlier today.
Oh, hey, Damian, you still there?
Quite the hailstorm that rode through a little earlier today.
The tornado watch took like
wasn't not necessarily impressive, but
why that took so long?
It did prompt a severe thunderstorm warning, so that was something we had to look at.
I'll tell you. Hold on.
You see the evolution of that, and it was this cell right here. You'll see. That really got his act together as it moved right over Washington County, just to the west, right over Springdale, over towards Johnson. Yeah. But as quickly as it was there, is as quickly as it was gone in terms of how fast it hopped in.
You go to my meteorologist and Scott page.
Just hopping on.
If you have that.
Hi, Kylie. Just hopping on. What's Rogers in for? Rogers, you guys are done. The only thing you guys can expect now for the rest of the evening is cold temperatures and gusty winds. Winds will still be a little strong behind this front, gusting higher than 45 plus miles per hour. So that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. But temperatures, I was just going through this. Temperatures are going to be very cold to start off the work week. I'm talking temperatures down into the upper teens. Here, I'll take max 2 full so you can see that without the banner. But Yeah, temperatures are going to be very cold. Grabbing the jackets again. The coats, I might add, as wind chills. It'll feel close to 10 degrees. Some areas lightly colder.
Yeah.
And then look at what happens by 4 o'clock on Monday. Yeah, the temperatures don't rise that much, so it's still going to be a pretty chilly night. And the winds, although the wind advisory will be over as it stands right now, unless they extend it. As it stands right now, the wind advisory will be over.
Well, thank you.
But the winds are not just going to die down just because the wind advisory stopped. It'll still be a little gusty out there heading into Monday night. And Monday night will be another chilly night. You see the high temperatures struggle to leave the upper 30s and 40s. By the time we get to tomorrow night, we're talking about temperatures down again into the lower 20s across the area. So it's going to be a little bit of a cold start to our week here.
I'm getting some hail video.
Getting some hail
on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a comment not long ago saying hail looked like it snowed an inch in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I know, it's good. Someone asked, are we done with the frosts? Nope.
Here's a good comment. So Phil was correct, ..
Yeah. on the 6th week of his
right, on the 6th week. We enjoyed it.
He said winter, 6 more weeks of winter, but maybe he said winter in 6 weeks.
Right, winter in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
For 48 hours, and then we'll warm things back up.
Back to summer. Some seriously
sneak peek of the
temperamental weather, to say the least.
Yeah, sneak peek of the weather forecast. There's going to be here, I can show this. Jet stream energy. The severe weather risk is really dying down right now for our area. We're keeping an eye on the cells that are just along the cold front, but right now, no active warnings across our area, as that warning was allowed to expire. And then the other warning is to our far north, over towards Branson, as that cold front continues to push through. But here's a jet stream energy. You can see that big dip in the jet that we have dealing with right now. That's why temperatures are going to fall. Strong winds, all the 9 yards. Very stout system. This same line of storms prompting. I'll take my camera off so you can see the full thing. Same weather system prompting quite the severe weather setup over towards the East Coast for my friends and family back home. But look at what happens to our jet stream. Dan, have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
This is Thursday. Look at how strong that ridge is.
I know, it's just super strong.
And you'll definitely feel this in terms of temperatures when you see the 7-day a little later today on the shows. Yeah, temperatures, and we're going to start off this week in winter and end the week in summer. Let's put it that way. Also looks like we'll be a lot drier with that jet stream pattern as well. So that'll be something to look forward to. I'm sure the drought monitor in the coming weeks will change, since we had that big storm system that ruled through a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, it takes a little while because the week that we get the update is not the same week that the data is taken from that
again. So in case you're wondering, in the background, I'm telling this weather graphics company that we have that they got some issues, and they need to be working on them. So
you know what the funny part of that was?
What?
When you were on the phone with them, I showed sat radar and it went back to CDT.
I know. I know. It's super strange. So, well, good news, guys. This is whoa. I think you went off of that.
Yeah, sorry.
So good news is that this risk is winding down. I mean, that was basically it. It was a very, 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 very small window, but definitely some hail that came down in West Fayetteville. Got a lot of pictures, got a lot of comments, and got a lot of videos. And by the way, there is a website that you can go to submit your photo. There it is right there. You scan that QR code. Anytime you have hail videos or photos or any type of pictures, this is our megaphone site. I will share that exact link so you can know where to go to submit those photos. But that's the best way for you to send photos and pictures. So let me look here real fast.
Might show that hail video in the newscast later. Perfect.
Yeah, no kidding. I might have to put it in there. So submit. Here it is right here.
Submit your photo.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and we'll post that right to StreamYard. So this is the website right here. Submit your photo and video. I'm putting the caption on there. All righty, guys. Well, we'll look at one more round of radar, and I think we can drop off of this. Honestly, I'm gonna watch some golf. Watch the TPC Sawgrass. I'm surprised Washington County was included in that warning.
Yeah.
And that watch. I mean, the warning I understand. That was legit. That was a legit severe thunderstorm warning. Didn't last very long, but that system's out. We'll watch this cell that's over St. Paul. That's a little bit of a stronger cell. As of now, not impressive. And just for us, I don't think things are coming together for tornado potential. And here comes the colder air that's moving in as well. So get ready. Some chilly weather coming our way. The front moving in. I think some flurries are going to be possible, and a little bit of light snow tonight, late tonight, and into the early tomorrow morning. So that's about it. Yeah, we do have that chance for snow later on tonight.
Yep. Wrap around moisture.
Yeah. So quick little severe weather dose, and then that's it. But a little bit of hail. Can you imagine though if they did have that Razorback game at 2 p.m. There's more rain coming in now, so that would have been wouldn't have been great.
Would not have been great.
No,
I'm glad they took heed to the warning.
And they won too.
And
they won the doubleheader. They lost the game 2.
Yeah. But
they won game 3. Game 1 was awesome. I was there. I saw that. I saw that walk-off home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Softball had a pretty good game too.
Softball's really good, man. Razorback sports are clicking. We just need the football team to do it. So ground will be too warm, but if it does snow heavy enough, there could be a chance that it sticks on elevated surfaces, your car hood, your windshield, stuff like that.
Rooftops.
Yeah, rooftops when they can get a lot colder.
Yep. And there you see.
But there it is. There's a good look at that wraparound that's starting to develop to the northwest. So bring that up on max 2. Yeah, it's going.
There it is.
Getting all the way south. And by the way, you can see there's absolutely no more severe weather threat. That's stratiform rain that's behind it developing. So obviously these storms have a long ways to go before they're out of the entire watch, which is why it goes until 9 o'clock. And the good news is that we're on the western edge of it. So all about the frontal position, all about the timing, all about the ingredients. But I'll tell you this, man, it is going to be a busy few days of severe weather potential. And I honestly think that I just thought of something. I'm going to add those buttons down there.
Okay.
For the cameras where we can pop that in. Thank you so much for sending in video and photos. You can put that on megaphone. You know how to do that.
Yep.
So I know you got that all covered. And hopefully no computers break down while I'm off.
I hope not either. It seems to be a trend.
I know, exactly. Something happens, something breaks. So yeah. One last look at this cell. You can see it's got a lot more lightning with it. So it still has a little ways to go before it gets out of so there it goes. It takes a while sometimes. There's that cell, southern Madison County, coming through. All the other stuff, just garden variety showers and storms. So I wouldn't doubt if that tornado watch gets expired for Washington County within like an hour at the very most.
Yep.
And that's it. It's done. We should look and see if we can see that structure on this Mount Sequoia camera.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
I'm gonna bring it up real quick. Let's see.
I'll bring it up with the 3.
Bring it up in recorded streams if you can.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you could tell. I could tell immediately that it was getting undercut.
So there we go, max 2. Yeah.
So here it is. I'm going to put this into motion. I'm going to speed this up. And you can tell, look, no rotation. It's just all moving right to left.
Yep.
Yeah, there's mid-level rotation. You can see the way there is the clouds there, but all that's just absolutely getting undercut by that cell.
Boom.
You can totally see that as clear as day. And then there's the hail core. Pretty good rain that came down, man. That would have been a downpour. and then it's out of here. So again, just visualizing it, you can see, yes, it's got a base, but it's moving from right to left. So there you go. Great example of how visually matches up with the radar interpretation. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're going to shut it down. Unless, Davion, you want to keep going?
I think we can shut it down.
Yeah, I don't think there's much.
Get ready for the newscast.
Yep, 5 o'clock if golf doesn't run long.
Yeah.
As of now,
Oberg. They were good yesterday.
Ludwig Oberg.
Slightly.
It's funny too because I was asking my son, how do you pronounce that name? A with the circle over the A, and he was like Auberg, and I was like, no, Oberg. So he looked it up and he's like, oh yeah, it's Oberg. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, the fact check.
What do you think? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's it. One last look at Mega Doppler, real quick scan, going around some cells that have popped up across, eastern Benton County. Not even lightning with those. So this is just all stratiform rain, essentially. Then you look off to the east. You got a thunderstorm there. That's undercut by the cold air too. There's a cell there that's severe, but that's undercut. So, and then you got a little bit of activity that's moving in, but that's also undercut. So everything's getting undercut by the cold front, which is exactly what you saw on that live feed with that time lapse. And so that's all she wrote.
There's a comment. Brian Fall said, Dan, I think it's an issue with SPC. It took a long time for the watch to populate on GR Analyst and Radar Omega.
Okay. Who said that?
That was Brian Falls.
Okay.
I'm eating Whataburger and drinking a Baja Blast. Could use a Baja Blast. But yeah, there you see. Again, we just went through Mega Doppler. Just some rain showers before we change over to snow. Briefly.
All right, guys. Well, take care. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Davion, you got the rest of the day. I'm going to go home.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of my Sunday. And I think we're good. I don't think we have any more severe weather threat. Now, for folks in central Arkansas and eastern Arkansas, that's a different story. And you can watch your local television stations for that. Shutting it down, as Lone Wolf said. See you guys. God bless.
See you guys.
Have a great Sunday.